Hello, Super Cleansers, Dr. Jamie, and today we're on day 15. We're going to be talking about techniques again to help us with food cravings. And what I want to say is that the food industry, I talked about this early on, uses repetition and uses emotions to get us hooked and addicted to foods. And really, that's their type of brainwashing and psychological conditioning. We can call it that, right? Brainwashing and psychological conditioning sound exactly on the money. And we're going to use those same techniques. That's what we're doing to take charge of our own minds and to be able to direct our minds in the way we want it to go. This is a handout, and I'm going to put the material in the Facebook group, but I'm going to just go through it today. And there's a couple things I want to say, and one is willpower will eventually fail. It always does. Willpower is, mustering. And that kind of strength and fortitude only lasts for a period of time, and then finally we're like, oh gosh, I can't do this anymore. That's why we want to change our minds, and we want to make it something we really, really want. Not just want, but must have, and that's health, and that's healthy eating. And when it's that strong, and when we deal with the food cravings, we'll be able to do it because we want to. And then we don't have to worry about willpower anymore. Because anytime you have a food craving, anytime we want something, there's a desire for something. You start to crave it, right? And with that comes tension. There's tension that happens in the mind around it, and there's tension that happens in the body. We don't like that tension when it comes, and we start to resist it. When you resist tension, that creates even more tension. And that tension builds into agitation. And when you get agitation, what do? You run to the kitchen and start eating. And that makes perfect sense. You want to soothe your agitation. And we talked about some fun techniques the other day. And I mentioned changing the mind and what you see in the mind. And we're going to kind of play with that a little bit today. The opposite of tension is relaxation. Doesn't it make sense then, if food cravings are about creating tension, that we want to relax? And then the next question is, okay, yeah, but how do I do that? Breath is really helpful. Breath is incredible. When we're tense, we hold the breath. And breath is free. It's easy. We can all do it. Just work on breathing a little bit and doing some intentional relaxation of the body. That's helpful. I want to go through some steps, and I gave them names. I got this idea from a meditation technique that I learned a long time ago. There's 5 steps to it. You really only need to go through the 3 steps, though, each time. And these are steps that you can go through when you're having a food craving. First, step number 1 is you've got to recognize what's going on. If you find yourself in the kitchen driven there for unknown reasons, you're having a food craving. But getting aware of these when they come along is the first step. If you're not aware of them, what are you going to do about them? But if you find yourself in the middle of a box of cookies, you pretty much know there's been a food craving involved. And then next time, maybe you'll notice a little sooner. And remember, all of this takes time. But that's the first step, is to recognize it. The second step is to relax, just like I said. Take a couple of breaths, relax the shoulders, relax the bodies. Find a little stillness. And even if you're feeling that agitation, allow that agitation to just exist, because it's just agitation. Just kind of breathe into your body, almost breathing into that agitation and allowing it to kind of relax out. What you don't want to do is try and push it away, because that's just going to rev the engine of agitation more. The third step I call resmile, and resmiling is just to have another R. And that means to just remember to smile. Oh, that's a good idea. I should make that third one remember to smile. I like that better. I'm going to do that. And the smiling means that physiologically, when we smile or we relax the face a little bit, we're actually relaxing the whole body of tension. And it's really a Mona Lisa smile. You're not like doing this, you're not doing some kind of fake, huge clown smile. You're just doing like, if I was kind of tense right now, I'd be tense around the mouth. Or I can just have a little bit of a relaxation in my face. And it's that kind of smile. It's hard to talk and do that. And that's a smile, and that directs the mind to a more positive state. It's bringing in a more positive state. Then comes the mind part. And then it's going to come a feeling. Because I'm going to direct you while you're doing this. And of course, I didn't say sit down while you're doing this. You can do it standing, but when you're first doing it, sitting down and in a quieter space helps. But you can do this anywhere with any amount of noise around you. And then what you're going to do is actually think of a place or a time that makes you feel really happy. Get a picture in your mind. Maybe it's the beach, a walk in the park. Maybe it's a person like a grandchild. It can even be something simple like a puppy or a baby. Something that just makes you feel good. Get that picture in your mind, because you're changing away that food craving picture, if that's what you're having, and bringing in a more positive picture. And then just kind of bring that picture to a feeling, because when you have the picture, you'll start to have the feeling. Now you're starting to train your body and your mind to bring in a more positive state, which is really helpful. And this actually can be used in any part of life. It's amazingly useful when you practice it. Remember early on I talked in that awful picture I drew of all the brain connections? That's what we're doing. We're forming more brain connections for feeling good. And these connections are going to form more and more in groups and bigger groups and bigger groups until it's like so easy for you to just go, I'm happy. It's that simple. All you have to do is practice it. And if you're having trouble getting a picture or even a feeling, then just sit there with that little smile on your face and have the intention. The intention will eventually bring you there. Just practice, I promise you, it'll work. And then the fifth part of it is I want you to remember it took a lifetime to build these habits. It's going to take a little bit of time to break them. Go easy on yourself. Going easy, though, does not mean allowing excuses. It means allow yourself to fall off the mark sometimes. My belief, and I heard this and I don't know who said it originally, that failure is the only time you fail is when you quit. Otherwise, you're just in the learning process. So it's okay if you're not perfect at this. But no excuses. In other words, you can't say, well, I had a bad day, or people at work are always bringing food in, or I have kids in the house and they're always keeping food around, so it's impossible for me. At this point, one thing I want you to understand is this is your choice. We've been bringing you to a point where you know what to do, and eventually it's going to be on you. It's going to be your choice. And in fact, that responsibility, I think, is so helpful. A couple of things to remember is that food is addictive. It is physically addictive, and the food industry has made a mental and emotional addiction around that. And that's what you're breaking. Our culture is so dependent on it. And even though you're going to be out there in the world and many people are going to say, this is great, you look fabulous and keep going, super for you. But there's going to be people out there who go, I don't know why you're bothering with this. Because they either aren't able to do it for themselves. They may be a little bit jealous of what you're doing. Who knows? But don't let the naysayers beat you down. Remember how powerful marketing is. Emotions and repetition, and that's what we're doing. And you're going to get past what the food industry is doing. Psychological conditioning. We're using psychological. We're beating the food industry at their own game, really. Okay? No excuses. Keep going. I'm going to post this so you'll have this. And fantastic, because you are day 15. I think that's absolutely incredible. We'll see you soon. 2 thumbs up, guys. See you soon.